I approached a psychologist who gave me a handover and some advice. He said, I understand you approached Mary with a direct question in a parent's home. This form of language has been used by her husband in the past. There is a possibility she has associated that interaction as though it was him. Try a more passive approach next time, such as, here you are, Mary, I found your frame. This will prevent her experience from being interrupted and demonstrate congruence. Also, there are reminiscence and solution-based therapies you can use to support interactions. For example, when Mary is walking, you can walk beside her and talk about her family. Oh yes, and on admission, the husband mentioned Mary loves to see her family photos. She would often kiss them obsessively and say, I love you. It was when the husband intervened that she would shout, I'm falling, go away. It is good practice to assess and observe space when engaging with people living with dementia, as often they can become disorientated by their environment when there is too much stimuli. This can cause them to react negatively. Touch is another useful technique, as well as eye contact. This can demonstrate that you are actively listening. It will also show Mary that we respect her autonomy and that you are kind and interested in her well-being. As practitioners, we must be careful how we exercise our power, as our intentions can appear controlling and make a service user feel inferior within their treatment. Today I'm administering Mary's insulin. I found a picture of Mary's son on the window ledge. I used the picture as a tool to bring familiarity to the conversation. I gauged space, greeted Mary, and introduced my name. I handed Mary the picture of her son and created a pause to allow Mary time to look at it. I love you, she began kissing the picture. I used this opportunity to tell Mary that her son was wonderful, and also asked Mary if she was happy for me to administer her insulin. Mary informally consented by lifting up her top and enabled me to provide the injection into her tummy. It was the first time I had gained Mary's full attention. I figured this was a good time to ask Mary if she was happy for me to read her Section 3 rights. She continued holding the picture and gave me a blank look. On returning from the clinical room, I brought the Section 3 rights along to attempt discussion. Sorry to interrupt you, Mary. Are you able to tell me? Are you in hospital? She called out, I'm falling, go away. My intuition told me that, considering Mary's reaction, it appeared that she might have some insight, yet seemed to be struggling to accept her condition and newly changed environment. I handed Mary her rights. Knowing that she struggled with language and expression, I asked her to point to the question she agreed to. Compassionately, I reassured Mary that we would do the task together slowly. Mary passed over the question she was not sure of. I paraphrased them and then allowed Mary to demonstrate non-verbal cues such as shaking and nodding of her head to identify if she was agreeing or not. What did I gain from this experience? Any cross-transactional approach is work in progress, good or bad. I'm glad I implemented the psychologist's advice. At first I felt bad for upsetting Mary. However, given the chance again, I will be more mindful of my approach and language going forward.